Who do you want to win as mayor of LA?
Karen Bass.
And why Karen Bass?
Black Pride.
Okay, anything else?
No.
Just that, or some policies or something like that that you can share?
Nah.
Who do you want to win as mayor of LA?
All right, so I'll just say it because I can. That's racist. Okay, you can't just vote because someone is black. It's like what happens in Africa when people vote because a candidate is from their tribe. Well, okay, so our cold open is the usual, okay? The usual leftist insanity, intergalactic wrangler in the chat, gardening in the chat. You guys are keeping the chat warm and I appreciate it. Thank you so much. This is the last live stream for the week. Tomorrow is my day of rest. So there'll be no live stream this time tomorrow, but we're going to be continuing on Sunday night. So we'll just take a rest and then be back on Sunday night. How was your week? Okay, so let me know where you're chatting from. If you're a regular, of course, I know where you're chatting from. Talk amongst yourselves. But then again, there's so much that's been going on, and most of it has revolved around protests. Okay, sorry, I just want to be sure. I have been angler and wrangler. Well, it's fun. Okay, so guys, we're just gonna dive into the videos, okay? And then you guys just we're gonna be looking at there's more developments on the protests that's going on in Newark. But let's just watch a few of these videos because it sets a background to just show that this behavior is not old. Sorry, it is not new. It's something that the left has always done. And yesterday, I did talk a bit about Solalinsky's rules for radicals. But maybe we'll get to talk about that again. But let's watch a few of these. Leftists, guys, leftists.
Shame.
Another one of those.
Shame. Shame.
Guys, people vote. These people vote, guys. Just this crazy thing.
Can you go away? We don't want you to be here. And you're really evil and mean. How am I evil? You're racist.
You know, the thing about what I've seen so far with leftists is they think that if they say these hateful things in a very nice and innocent sounding voice, it makes them the good guys. And then it makes the person they're saying those things to the really evil guys. All right. So that's what they believe.
How am I racist? You're a white supremacist. How? What do you mean how?
Your beliefs anger us. And it's as simple as that.
Guys, so you see the face that Caitlin is making. That's the face you make whenever they show up. Like that guy who showed up yesterday in the chat. You just smile, and anger them. Now, this video showed up a couple of weeks back, and this guy is a Democrat. A member of the Arizona Democrat Executive Committee. And here's what he does to someone simply because they dared to take pictures with ICE officers.
Take photos with them. You fucking cunt.
So he's calling people who simply took photographs with law enforcement officers effing C's. I can't even say that word. Oops. Sorry, I messed up the video feed.
You little fucking cunt! You little fucking cunt! They're taking photos of my face so they can recognize me on social media.
So they followed these two ladies to their home, took pictures of them so that they could dox them. And while they were doing that, they were threatening them, and he was using vile profanity against them.
There we go. Okay.
This is a member of the Democrat Party in Arizona.
Sir, do you think that makes you right to scream at women and call them a cunt? Come back, sir. You were so brave to talk to those women. I'm trying to talk to you. But I want to talk to you.
Yeah, so and we have more, guys. We have more. This shocked me, but maybe not much. Oops. What'd I do?
Ass bitch. Let's lock them up.
What were you yelling at the guards?
That they need to let all these people out. If they're such big and bad, why don't they just take their mask off? They want to work here. They want to work here. They want to work here. So let them show their face. Why are you so scared? Why? There's nothing to be scared of. We're all here. We're all here to just see our family members. We're not here for trouble. We're not here for nothing. They yelled at me and my brother. How about we make a deal with Trump? Let's make a deal with Trump.
What deal do you want to make?
The deal is, let's lock them up for 5 minutes, at least.
You want to lock Trump up?
Let's see if they're such big and bad, why don't they lock themselves up?
How long do you think President Trump could last in there?
He'll probably just last like at least 2 minutes. Trump, he needs to leave. These people are feeding these people expired milk, expired bread.
Somebody just told her to shut up?
Told her to go eat a burger to shut the fuck up. Like, come on, you're treating
Who said that?
the female guard.
I said, shame on you. She said, shut the fuck up, fat ass bitch. And I said, your mom is one.
Oh, that is, the lady should write a book on how to parent your kids. I mean, she's a stellar parent. Okay, this is what the left does to their kids when they raise their kids. Okay, and guys, when I say the left, okay, I don't mean the centrist left who kind of, want to support leftist policies, but not the extreme leftist policies. I'm not talking about those kind of people. I'm talking about people who are just on the extreme left, okay, who think that transitioning your kids is a badge of honor. Okay. Okay, so the chat. They always have to scream, gardening says, and act so crazy. I can't imagine being in a crowd of mental illness. But you see, that's the reason why they act the way they do. They surround themselves with that energy. This kid is growing up in a house where her parents believe all of the lies that TDSBC tells. And they just repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. Nice officers. Yeah, they are. Intergalactic Wrangler says kids should be in school. They should, but do you know what? Look, when the left decides that the things that should be taught in school are critical race theory, gender ideology, and handing pornographic books to children in K through 12, I mean, there's no need for her to be in school. In fact, I think this is an improvement. If you ask me, she's out and about in the real world, getting her steps in, so I think that's better than sitting through all of those classes, if you ask me. At least when she comes out here and maybe meets some real consequences, then maybe she'll get an education. Well, so what do you think? Gardening says, wow, what a wonderful young lady. Of course, she's going to, if she doesn't change, if she keeps believing this and growing up to become a hateful activist who has a foul mouth, at this age, she has a foul mouth, attacks authority, doesn't recognize the place that law enforcement plays in society, she's going to grow up to be a very lovely lady. She's going to make some guy out there very happy. Okay, go eat a burger and shut up. Look, that's what you tell people like that. Like they need a reality check. Let's see. Spending time in school is probably part of that, but school is out for some. Okay, yeah, you're right. School is out for the summer. All right, guys. Now, if you're watching and this is the first time you're hanging out at our channel, please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing the video. Now we're going to be covering some other announcements. There's some improvements that President Trump has made to Washington D.C. We're going to hear citizen feedback on some of the things that President Trump has done, and we're going to hear some unhinged remarks from leading Democrats. We're going to watch that as well, but. The streets are overflowing with insanity. So on Real, this woman supports male sex offenders being placed in women's prisons and millions of tax dollars being spent on transition surgeries. This is what they truly like. It's hard to believe, guys, but these people really, really do believe this.
Young girls.
Okay,
That's
but
your
do you
problem.
think it's a problem to allow male sex offenders into female prisons? Did you know right now male sex offenders are allowed in female prisons?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, do you support that?
Yes.
You support male sex offenders going into female prisons if they identify as trans?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Do you support our state spending $4.5 million?
So there's a saying that we used to have in Africa that that gray hair. Well, no, it's not. It's not actually a saying from Africa. It's a saying that has been essentially watered down from the book of Proverbs. That gray hair should be a sign of wisdom. But for the last 15 years, what I've seen with women who have gray hair, they essentially are the vestiges of the hippie movement from the 60s and early 70s. This woman was one of those girls who left their homes, went to communes or to Woodstock, laid on the grass stark naked, having sex with random people and smoking pot and getting high. And now that she's in her old age, she's hungering for those days, and she's one of those people, and they genuinely believe these insane ideas.
$1 million to transition those sex offenders?
One, it's not that high.
We just Freedom of Information Acted it. We're spending $4.5 million.
Does not mean what you are representing.
We are spending $600,000 on SRS for prisoners.
Hold on. She said what?
We just Freedom of Information Acted it. We're spending $4.5 million.
Does not mean what you are representing.
We are spending
Sorry, she says transition doesn't mean what you're representing it to be. No, and that's another thing with these guys. They twist the meaning of words so that they can do whatever it is they want to do and tell you that, no, that thing you think we're doing, that's not what we're doing, while they're doing exactly what we're saying they're doing. That's exactly the game that these guys play. And you know what? We're done playing that game. Okay, we look at them, they talk. We're like, yeah, we can see your mouth moving, and if your mouth is moving, I guess you're lying.
$100,000 on SRS for prisoners, sex offenders. We're spending $600,000 on boob jobs for sex offenders.
What?
And currently, we are allowing male sex offenders who ideate as trans into female prisons.
And get female prisoners, female inmates pregnant. I guess you guys have heard those reports that men who decided that they were going to identify as women and were put in female prisons were impregnating female inmates. And they're still doing it.
If that is true, I would.
You would support that. Thank you.
If it was true. Young girl.
Oh, geez. It's upside down world, guys. Let's get to the chat, okay? I want to read what you guys are saying. Hopefully, let's see. Intergalactic Wrangler says maybe she should be playing in the park. Kids shouldn't be at these protests. I agree. Gardening says agreed. Child abuse to have them around all this, especially when violence is happening. But it's totally fine. So here's what the left is trying to do by showing kids at these protests. The Greta Thunberg phenomenon is something that they're trying to capture in real time. You know, the famous speech she made a few years ago that was her coming out speech. How dare you? How dare you? And then all of the guys at the UN, those grown men, were looking so defeated and humbled by a 16-year-old girl telling them off about the climate. The leftists are trying to recreate their Greta Thunberg, so they bring their kids out there and try to see which of them will be the next Greta Thunberg on immigration, and that's what they're trying to do. So that's why they drag them out there, and then they put the cameras in their faces to say, hey, look, guys, look, Even kids hate Trump. That's the whole. It sounds reductive, but I think that's what they're trying to do. So let's see what else is in the chat. Yeah, it's abusive to get them. It's child abuse to have them around all this, especially when violence is happening. Gardening also says, how about we allow them parole to her house with her? Like I said yesterday, if you're so keen on open borders, run your own private experiment. Okay, remove the doors from your home since you don't believe in borders. For this woman, let those offenders who want to do things to their bodies live with her. Okay, let her be responsible for them and see how she copes. All right, let's keep going. Now, I call the live stream a watch party because for now, we're just going to be watching a few things. And then we get into news stories. There's a bunch of news happening, but one of the concerns I have about big news like the Iran war, like all the big things that people tend to want to report on that are like the bombastic news, is that while all of that is distracting and it's all flashy and interesting, ground level stuff is happening that determines the future of the human race. Like this. Now, here's this guy, okay? This guy showed up to harass Cam Higby. Cam Higby is a great guy. And Cam refused to take the bait and kept his cool. But let's watch how this develops. And let me know what you think in the chat, because I am genuinely concerned for people like Cam Higby, Nick Shirley, Nick Sauter, like a bunch of them out there are putting their lives on the line to capture the insanity on the streets. And personally, I think that we do them a great disservice if we don't pay attention to what's going on and actually have a conversation about it, because these things are happening and there are real people who believe and talk like this guy.
He wasn't here. They wasn't here. I would smack the shit out of you for talking to me and smirking in my face like that. Because I'm not a fucking kid to play with. I'm talking to you. I'm being sincere, and you're standing here lying to me. I would have been smacked the shit out of you. But he's here to protect you. That's why you come with security. And if I start whooping your ass, they're gonna come help you. I'm talking to you.
Why violence? Why do we resort to violence?
You're a fucking piece of shit. and
you won't even engage with me.
You're lying. You're a liar.
That's
you're all
what they always do.
You a fucking snake. You're standing here lying for the police, for the pigs. You're lying.
You're the one who wanted to talk to me. You wanted to talk to me.
Because I wanted to find out who you was. And you was too scared to say you was a racist piece of shit. You were scared.
I'm not racist.
You said, I don't know nothing. I'm just depressed. I knew you was lying. Because I could tell you were lying. But he's a fucking coward. Y'all want to listen to people like this? Listen to him. But if he wasn't here, I'd take your ass down and whoop your ass.
So why is it that the left has become a party of extremism and of violence? Essentially, violence. Like most of the videos that we've watched so far over the last couple of days, we're seeing them devolving into violent, frothing at the mouth activities at these ICE detention centers. On videos, we watched those videos where a bunch of them were celebrating the fact that Pam Bondi was diagnosed with thyroid cancer and so on. Like, there's a lot of insanity and hate that is flowing from the left these days.
That's what I would do.
Resort to violence.
No, it is. Yo, this is violence. This is violence. A concentration camp is violence.
Now, we're going to play a video where like they get these words from the leadership of the Democrat Party, and we're going to get to that soon.
What is
the
a concentration camp?
Is violence. Me whooping your ass is what you deserve for being a piece of shit. Because you are a piece of shit.
Okay.
People are here trying to struggle to free these people, and you're here to try to make money off it and try to cast these people here as what? As
Yes, he should make money off it because it costs money to show up and to document the insanity that you guys apparently endorse.
Savages. That's violent. There's nobody here violent. They're holding up signs. And you're here lying. It says something about you. You just fucking said you don't think Trump a rapist. You don't.
No, I didn't. I asked you to prove it. That's what I asked.
How the fuck I'm gonna prove it?
What's the evidence? Well, you're saying he's a rapist. What's the evidence?
So I said Trump is a R word. Prove it. How dare you ask me to prove it? I'm going to whoop your ass. The left. Oh, this is the cream of the crop.
Women that said he raped them.
Okay, you raped me. You raped me. There's evidence against you.
I already know.
Exactly. Like,
Don't do that. Don't allow it. Don't do it.
that is what they always do.
I got him. I mean, no. I got
Jeez.
so listen, check that. Look. No, 1 second. Look me my eye. Yo, he got his footage on, right? I'm using his own shit to try to show what kind of person. Exactly. I mean, I'm using his camera. Don't say nothing to him.
All right, guys. So you're watching this guy now. He says he's using Cam's footage to expose who Cam really is. So let me know in the chat who's really been exposed. Who has been exposed? Was Cam exposed, or were they exposed to be violent, to not know how to have a civil debate about their ideas? This has to be a war of ideas. And since their ideas fail every single time they resort to violence, that is why the left has essentially devolved into the crazy party that it has become.
Leave him alone. That's what he wants from me. That's like he want to go back and show everybody like, yo, these people are savages. Everybody's holding signs saying free people from a concentration camp, and you're here. You're here.
Yeah. So she flips us the bird for good measure. Brilliant people. Now, okay. So let me read the chat for a bit because so let's look at this because Scott Bessent keeps dropping epic one-liners. Okay, Scott Bessent just revealed that the IRS has moved to make NGOs liable for violent activity committed by their grant recipients like Antifa. Brilliant. Okay, we've been asking this question for a long time. How is it that the money keeps flowing and the people responsible for these activities aren't getting sanctioned? Let's listen to this.
I want to ask you about Antifa. In October, the Treasury Department started working with the FBI to investigate who's funding Antifa. Can you give us an update on that investigation? How close are you guys to finding out who's funding Antifa?
It is ongoing. We made substantial progress, and I think in the weeks and months ahead, we're going to have a lot to report. One thing that did go the underreported that I would point out to all of you is the IRS is now giving guidance on the Form 990, which nonprofits they have to file. And we are going to encourage or demand that nonprofits know their grant recipients. So if a grant recipient is violent, if they are suppressing people's rights, then you are responsible for that. And I think that's a very good first step.
Which makes sense. If I'm paying the bills for someone to go out and attack the police and assault innocent Americans who are simply doing their duty as citizen journalists, I think the person who is funding that has to be prosecuted. I believe that. Okay, I believe that. Now, what do you think? Is this a step in the right direction? Okay. Now, in the chat, Intergalactic Wrangler says, show out for the camera. Well, the guy essentially exposed himself. Now, here's what the guy said, because, they talk fast, they're always angry and so on. And he said that the people out there are only holding signs and that Cam was taking videos of them and calling them savages. And I'm like, no, you guys are essentially running cover for this insanity. Now, I'm going to play a video, okay? So these are the peaceful, hold on. All right, so these are the sign holding peaceful protesters that he's referring to. They're not savages. they're not savages. they genuinely think that you and I are stupid. All right. They think we're stupid. They think that they can simply lie to us, and we'll just just cower and say, well, I guess you're right. We're on the wrong side of history. That's what this individual wants us to believe. Well, sadly, we have eyes and a brain. Now, someone who doesn't think that we have eyes
Senator.
and a brain is Senator Cory Booker. All right. So here's what he has to say to CNN.
No, Senator, you've repeatedly called for this facility to be closed, and you've pointed out several times that many of the detainees there do not have any criminal histories. But the Trump administration argues that if these individuals actually are in the United States illegally, if they enter the country illegally, that they have committed a crime. So to be clear, Senator, do you believe these detainees should immediately be released?
So before Senator Cory Booker, I'm going to use his title to show respect, the respect he's about to not show us, okay? First of all, if you enter a country illegally, that means you broke the law, correct? Is breaking the law a crime? It is, meaning they are criminals. They depend on the fact that they've succeeded in destroying the American educational system so that the people they are speaking with are such dunces that they'll believe anything that a man in a suit on TV tells them. That's essentially what they're banking on. Now, let's listen to this unhinged response by Senator Cory Booker.
Again, that's a holistic statement. What I'm saying is what the Cato Institute has said is only about 5% of the people that they're rounding up from our streets and from our communities have committed any crimes. Donald Trump said he was going to go after the most dangerous of dangerous people, and he has taken resources, our taxpayer dollars, away from the ATF, away from the FBI, who are investigating serious crimes. Remember, the number one killer of our children is gun violence. But yet he has focused this on and overwhelmingly locking up people that pose no threat.
He claims the number one killer of children in the United States is gun violence. Now, let me know in the chat if you want me to fact check that statement. And I want to guarantee you that he's wrong. I believe 100% that if we fact check this live right now, okay, unless I'm going to have egg on my face, I don't believe a word he says about that, because the Democrats have an agenda to take away your guns. All right. I listened to an amazing interview today, and maybe at some point I might share the interview and you guys will listen to it. It's an amazing interview of a woman who escaped communist China in the 80s. And she describes how the Communist Party essentially destroyed China by using the culture war that they started in the 50s. Okay, with struggle sessions and so on. And she said the first thing that she noticed in America was that, the freedom of speech essentially is something that has been defended by the Second Amendment. If you don't have a Second Amendment, you don't have a First Amendment. And so you see the Democrat Party always try to use the back door to try to get your guns. So here he's saying something out there, and somebody, a housewife who's ironing clothes or who's doing her chores, or a guy who's mowing his lawn, is listening to this thing passively, and then they hear at the back of their minds, guns are the number one cause of death of children. And then it sticks. And then they start having fights in the street where someone is having an interview, and then they parrot these same insane, ideas. All right. So, that you said that would make a good poll. Well, I would like to do a live fact check with Grok. Okay, so if you guys want to see that, just let me know in the chat and we'll do that.
And many of them are very integral parts of the fabric of our communities.
Oh,
so
my
this
goodness.
is disastrous.
He says that many of the people who have broken the law to come into the United States are an integral part of their communities. It's like what that other lady said about that we watched yesterday, that said that they pay taxes. And I asked the question, how would they pay taxes if they are undocumented? Do they have social security numbers in order to identify that they pay tax? These Democrats are lying. We're catching them out on these lies. And when we don't catch them, and when they can't convince us to believe their lies, they start attacking us and calling us hateful, like that gentleman in the previous video did.
Morally wrong. It's not making us safe. In fact, it's making us less safe. And so, yes, I believe there are people in there that are wasting taxpayer dollars and making this private corporation that has showered the Trump and Republicans with campaign contributions. It's making them rich and all of us less safe and more poor.
Yeah, so that is what that black guy is hearing every other day. He's listening to TDSBC. They're telling him, they're filling his head with all of these ideas. How does anything Cory Booker just said make any sense? Okay. Now, Intergalactic Wrangler agrees that will make a good poll. If you're watching and you want me to do a live fact check on that, let me know in the chat. Okay. Now, let's pivot over to California. Gardening says, this guy has no problem to just outright lie to everyone. Look, I'm sorry. I want to be charitable to everyone. But at this rate, every time a Democrat opens their mouth, if their mouth is moving, it's very likely that they're lying. Now, let's pivot over to California. All right. The mayoral race has been running. I haven't covered it the way I should. And maybe at some point, maybe we'll try and catch up with what's going on over there. But Gardner says, do a live fact check. Okay. You guys agree amongst yourself in the chat. I see a bunch of people watching and not chatting. I see you. So please jump into the chat. Now, if you're watching for the first time, like the video. If you're enjoying the interaction that we're having, subscribe if you're not subscribed and hit the bell icon. And then, let's get into it. So someone built a fake homeless encampment outside Los Angeles council member Nithya Raman's home. And why did they do it? Now, Nithya Raman is the third person who is running for mayor of Los Angeles. And one of the things that she said is that she said that homelessness is not a real issue. So they essentially decided to give her a taste of her own medicine.
These videos all over on social media, sparking debate over political protest and personal space. The videos now viewed hundreds of thousands of times online.
This is crazy.
Fake homeless encampments set up outside LA City Councilwoman and mayoral candidate Nithya Raman's home.
This is happening all over the city, and we brought it to her doorstep so she can see what other people are going through.
A man who claims he helped organize the stunt spoke exclusively with Fox 11 with his face covered.
All the political violence that's been going on is really important that people protect their identities.
Tents, trash, old tires, and a barbecue Monday morning, all outside Raman's home.
Basically doing a parody ad for her. Like if we were in charge of her campaign, this was the ad that we would make. Yo, what's going on?
What he describes as a broader, sarcastic effort across Raman's Council District 4 in support of Spencer Pratt. Do you know Spencer Pratt, or are you affiliated with the Spencer Pratt campaign?
Absolutely never met him. Big fan of his work.
Who is funding this?
So we have a group of donors from around the country. Check us out online at Safe Cities USA.
My support has been growing.
At a press conference Thursday, Raman discussed a new UC Berkeley poll showing her in second place in the mayor's race, but did not address the videos.
I looked out the window and I realized that there were people setting up what was, I think, a fake encampment, like a homeless encampment outside of my house.
Earlier this week, though, she spoke about them on the Adam Conover podcast.
I have two little kids.
Yeah. You have kids. Oh, you have kids. But every other Angelino has to deal with homelessness while you and your kids and your family live behind your high walls. That's the problem with these people, okay? When you bring the reality of their insane policies to them, they begin to talk about how they need their privacy, how they have kids, how the people that are doing this to them are heartless, evil. She has kids. Nice.
They didn't see it, luckily, this morning, but I feel badly that I'm even subjecting them to that at all. But
why don't you feel bad that you guys haven't done anything about the homeless situation in Los Angeles?
But it has definitely, this has gone far beyond what I expected the campaign to be about.
They feel like this draws.
I don't think it has gone far enough. Guys, a couple of days ago, I said that there were things I'm holding back from saying because it's going to be hard to communicate about what conservatives should begin to do about using some of these tactics that the left does. Now, I'm not talking about the violence, rock throwing, and so on. But I think that they should begin to have a taste of their own medicine. Okay. And while Trump is in office, as long as lawful protests are being held and conducted in a way that doesn't cross the line, I think conservatives should begin to give the left a taste of their own medicine. I think protests outside of abortion clinics have to, get back into full swing. I believe that protests over blue cities and states that allow sanctuary city policies, the conservatives in those blue cities and states have to get together and begin to protest. Hey, why don't we begin to pay for protesters? It's not. It's just a question. Okay, I don't like paid protesters. I don't like protesting generally, but I'm only floating a question. Now, the ultimate retort to the left is going to the ballots and voting. All right, that for me is the aim of everything, is the end goal. But there is something to be said of the spectacle of protests. The press, the news media, and people out there believe in the power of protest. They believe that if there's enough people out there saying this thing is evil, then it must be evil. Okay? But then again, it's just me. Let me know what you think in the chat. I'm just floating ideas, guys. Okay? But like I said, I'm not a big fan, but I think that there might be some merits to applying elements of the tools that these people on the left use.
The line.
Yeah, I think that, it's a public street, and I can see where she's upset, but to think about everybody else that's going through the same thing constantly that are being ignored.
This race already getting national attention with the election now just a few days away. Matthew Seedorf reporting, Fox 11 News.
Let's see. Intergalactic Wrangler says, all I can say is I'm glad I don't live in California. Gardening says, this was a great idea. People are starting to speak out. More and more need to do it. Well, I agree. I agree. I think that, we've been doing all this investigative journalism and looking at what the left does. And we're like, oh, aha, we found out that they have paid protesters. This was a year ago. A full year ago, I did a video on the main channel that covered the paid protest, the paid anti-ICE protests across the country. And do you know what happened? Nothing. Nothing. Paid protesters are still getting paid. Nothing is happening. Okay? So, I guess paid protesting is normalized now. I'm just saying, guys, I'm being facetious, but it's just one of those things, okay? Let's see. Gardening also says, but these people should have left poop everywhere to make it more realistic. Yeah. And then guess what's going to happen? The city council, of which she's a member, would arrest every single one of them. Yeah. But they would leave the actual homeless people who leave actual poop on the streets to continue pooping. That's the insanity of these leftist policies. It's just crazy. Now, for more insane leftist policies, now many of us live in other parts and not in Virginia, but let's talk about Virginia. Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger is facing mass calls to resign. Now, will she resign? I don't think so. These guys are so addicted to power. Like if they resign, it's almost like, they might die of a stroke, the next second after resigning. So she's facing mass calls to resign after her sanctuary city policies allowed an illegal alien assaulter, I'm trying to be YouTube friendly here, to be released only to go and assault a woman in a staircase. Stories like this keep popping up. The guy, the criminal in New York who pushed an elderly man down the stairs, who was let off by a leftist judge again and again. You know, there are so many stories now. We're getting tired of hearing those stories. Let's have a listen.
Court records showed me that he was arrested on May 19th in Fairfax County on 5 charges, including a felony. But only 3 days later, he was back on the street and allegedly assaulted a woman. So this is just a really concerning, a disturbing situation that we're telling you about this morning. Take a look here. The suspect on your screen, 25-year-old Cristobal Vasquez Sanchez. Arlington police say he inappropriately approached a woman in a parking garage stairwell about 10 days ago. Another person was there to step in and help her, and then he ran away before investigators found and arrested him 3 days later. So here's a look at his record I mentioned. I found 26 different charges total across Fairfax and
So this is an illegal alien who has decided that America is where he's going to continue his career of being a sexual assaulter. And he has 26 cases, 26.
Arlington, from other assaults to drug possessions and property damage, just to name a few. The most recent was 3 days before this alleged Arlington assault, where he was arrested for assault on an officer, which is a felony charge, but he was freed from custody, released on recognizance. So 7 News also learned yesterday that he is undocumented, and ICE had issued a detainer that Fairfax County officials did not honor. Here's what DHS told us. Sanctuary politicians released this criminal from jail back into Virginia communities. Vasquez Sanchez then went on to rack up charges for rape and sexual assault.
I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I think anyone who's involved in releasing these animals back into society and they repeat their crimes, those people need to be charged and jailed. That's the first thing I'm going to say. Second thing I'm going to say, and I've been saying it for over a year, the Democrat Party is the Antifa Party. They are the party of criminals, illegal aliens, and degenerates. I'm just going to say that. Now, I'm saying that knowing full well, I have family who are Democrats. I have family who are Democrats. And if they don't see that that's what the party has become, I don't know what to say anymore, because their policies continue to reveal to us what they are all about. All right. So I don't take any pleasure in pointing out the obvious. I don't. Like this insane story here. Governor Kathy Hochul of New York is moving forward with a ban on ICE agents wearing masks, just 1 day after a leftist rioter told an ICE agent in Newark, "I have your face. You're dead." We saw that video yesterday. Let's have a listen to this report.
An agitator telling an agent, "I have your face," and threatening to kill his family. A different scene right now in New York City with protesters outside Governor Kathy Hochul's office here in New York City. And just hours ago, that was on the topic of masked ICE agents, is when that took place. She said this.
We are banning masks for all law enforcement in the state of New York. People have rights that we are not foregoing just because there's been this decision by the Trump administration to unleash hell in our streets. And this is a moment for us.
And now the Justice Department is vowing to take action against that New Jersey rioter you just saw. The law states that a violent threat made to a federal official carries a maximum penalty of up to 10 years. Lisa, what a juxtaposition. I will kill you, your whole family, while we say they can't wear masks.
Now, and this governor, on the heels of that, doesn't say anything about the protesters who wear masks and attack law enforcement and regular people. She doesn't. So the hypocrisy is just stunning. Gardening says this mask situation has had my blood boiling. I believe every time any Democrat says anything about masks, this guy's video should be played. I think it should.
Yeah, it says, "I have your face, you are dead."
is what this individual said. I mean, isn't this domestic terrorism that we've seen around the country? Because the aim is to try to shape government policy via force and via intimidation and via domestic terrorism. That's what we're seeing. I mean, we've seen this now for quite some time, to the point where we've seen at least a 1,300% increase at one point against ICE officers. We saw that ambush in 2025, July, on Prairie Land ICE Detention Center, where you had the fireworks and the distractions, and then you saw about a dozen rounds were fired and hitting an ICE agent in the neck as well. Kristi Noem, a former Department of Homeland Security, previously said that we saw bounties placed on the head of agents as well. It was $2,000 for doxing, $5,000 to $10,000 for kidnapping.
That was last year. I covered it in a video last year. And no one is talking about that. As far as Democrats are concerned, the people who are doing those things are patriots. Meanwhile, they are connected to the cartels. I said it again and again. Democrat Party is a party of criminals, degenerates, and illegal aliens, because they continue to prove my point.
Or lethal force, and then $50,000 for assassination as well. We've seen the vehicle rammings. I mean, the list goes on and on. So this is domestic terrorism. And instead of condemning it and calling it as wrong, we've seen Democrats throw, fire on the gasoline on the fire. And encourage it. So it's disgusting and it's wrong. And I can't believe we're seeing this in America.
No doubt. And they play into it. I mean, Harris, I think if that's my dad or my mom and they're an ICE agent and this is what they have to go to at work, and then you send your kid to public school and there's walkouts because of your dad or your mom's profession. I mean, this is so scary.
I mean, it is a mark against our country right now. And the thing that that really concerns me about it, and it's what you said. I remember interviewing Greg Bovino, who was ahead of the ICE operations of getting the violent illegal criminals out of Minnesota at the time, and he had death threats against him. But, I look at this, and again, why I worry about it, it's not just him. He's in a neighborhood, that detention center that was there, the one in Illinois and Chicago, also more of a residential area. There are people nearby who become collateral damage because this breaks apart. And that really is a concern, because you've got the one guy threatening openly in the streets of America to kill it. How is that not domestic terrorism? Communicating that kind of a threat. That's not protected speech. I see your face and I will kill you. You will be dead. How is that protected? So I see in a
it is not protected. And let's look out for that guy to be prosecuted.
Erosion here of what keeps us a civil society, and I wonder what the clapback will be. What will it take to get us beyond this point? Because Congress has already proven, and the Democrats kept a shutdown north of 75 days. They've already proven on the Hill they can't get along. I mean, they're like dogs and cats. They just won't see us as American people and solve some of these issues.
Yeah. Gardening says that video should be played every time, every hearing about masks, any vote against masks, any speech, anytime, every time. Look, even if that video is played, the Democrats will still go ahead and do what they do. I used to be more charitable, that maybe they'll see the error of their ways. but they just won't. They won't. And in spite of all of the positive results of common sense policies, like sending the National Guard into Washington, D.C. to take care of crime and cleaning up the city like we're about to watch, the Democrats still claim that Trump sent in the National Guard in order to chill the neighborhood and to have a soft launch of his authoritarian policies. Well, almost a year later, there's positive results coming from that singular action that President Trump took. And let's hear this report, and then we'll also hear from a citizen of Washington, D.C. talking about how the city has essentially changed.
Well, and again, that idea came from President Trump, American flag blue. He was trying to optimize it is called the reflecting pool for a reason. 8 acres, one of the largest pools like it in the world, and it's going to be spectacular when it's done. But under President Trump, again, sign an executive order, make D.C. safe and beautiful. If we're the greatest country in the world, let's have the safest and most beautiful capital in the world. The projects are going on, like the one that you discussed at Columbus Circle, complete 180-degree change from what we inherited in the Biden administration. But that's happened. That's one of 22 fountains that are being restored, over 48 monuments and statues being restored, regilded. All the parks, Triangle and Circle parks around the city belong to the National Park Service. The team there has done an incredible job. That's part of the Department of Interior. But again, kudos to everything that everybody's doing. This city is gonna look better than it ever has as we head into the celebration of the USA and the Freedom 250.
Now, there's a report that's coming in about people who are meant to be performing at the Freedom 250 event being withdrawing because of death threats. Maybe we'll try and find out what that story is all about. Maybe we'll open up with that on Sunday if we find out more about it. But it's crazy. Now, here's a resident of, I think, of Washington, D.C., and here's what he has to say, because they told us that Trump was essentially he was using the National Guard to intimidate the citizens of Washington, D.C. He was destroying Washington, D.C. Well, this is almost a year out, and here's what a citizen of D.C. has to say.
What's up, y'all? This is Judiciary Square, Washington, D.C., Northwest Washington, D.C. In about 5 hours, you're going to have the vendors out here selling hot dogs, selling chips and things like that. It's a train station right here. I used to work in this building, and people are working. It's like businesses open up. I can recall just about 10 years ago, I used to work in that building. And when you come outside, you see homeless on the streets, you see crazies. I don't know if I should call them crazy, that's the right word, but people that wasn't quite natural.
They're crazy. Okay, let's stop being politically correct, okay? They were crazy.
They were all over the place. You know, it was so-called sanctuary cities. You go around in the alleys and things like that, you see tents, you see feces. I mean, it was just a little bit different. Then during the Biden administration, when you came downtown, all you saw was it was just quiet. It was almost like it was desert.
Yeah.
There were no vendors. I don't know what the vendors did for a living. The bars, all the clubs were closed down. The office buildings were still here, but everybody was working from home. Police officers didn't have much to do because there was nobody downtown. Everything was closed. We all worked from home. We were laying in bed doing what we wanted to do. Trump came on the scene and said, everybody got to go back to work. They have to stimulate the economy. Everybody has to go back to work. When that happened, it's almost like you watching the movies and it's on pause. We just like stationary, they can't move, and then all of a sudden they hit play and they just stop moving again. That's how it was downtown. And in the afternoons, when you go to the train station, you see these National Guards. They're all over the place. They have their guns. You know, they're speaking to people. They're co-mingling with the people. And it feels like a capital city. Like the water fountains, they used to be shut down. Now they're running again with water. You know, the parks that were closed, all the parks that were closed, the parks are open again. They're being redone.
Oh, but Trump is racist. He's a fascist. He's authoritarian. Then how come the authoritarian is getting things to work? People feel safe, and you know. Okay, so I'm sorry that I'm cutting off my thoughts on this, but I need to say something. Okay. Someone jumped into the chat on one of the live streams and began his rant on how Trump is racist and so on, and so an authoritarian dictator and so on. And unlike me, I decided I was not going to be nice. Usually, I'll just leave a response to say, well, thank you for leaving a comment. But I went in hard on him and I said to him, you wouldn't know an authoritarian dictator if he sat on your face. I said that. And I said to him, I lived for over 40 years under dictatorships. Did I say over 40 years? I lived for years of my life under dictatorships in Nigeria. And you don't know what a dictator looks like because I do, and this is not it. You know? And the guy comes back and just goes on an unhinged rant, and I just gave a palm on the face emoji and left him in the chat. No matter how much you give these guys the facts, they are immune to facts. These people are immune to facts. If they met somebody who just left the gulag in rags and says, I just came from a communist gulag, don't elect Zoran Mamdani. He's going to destroy your city. Oh my God. They are going to say, well, no, it's a trick. Trump must have paid him to ruin our great utopia. And they would go ahead and vote for Zoran Mamdani in spite of all of the evidence. Okay, so that's who we're dealing with. Okay, now this guy, the video is 5 minutes long, more than 5 minutes long, and not going to play the entire thing, but you get the picture. Citizens of Washington D.C. are rejoicing. The people who are disproportionately affected by violent crime are minorities and Black communities, and yet Trump clamping down on violent crime is racist. It is insane. It is insane. Let's read the chat. Okay. Let's see. Gardening says people get so used to living in filth and believe change can't happen. Sometimes you just have to show them. It's true. Gardening also says, but hopefully once they see the changes and how it can be, they keep fighting for that. Unfortunately, they forget quickly. But like I just said, there are many people who see the evidence, but they've been so conditioned or brainwashed into believing what they've heard on the news. Intergalactic Wrangler says, it depends on who sat on your face. Dude, come on, get your mind out of the gutter. Look, occasionally I lose my cool in the chat. Occasionally, it's rare. It's like citing a unicorn. Okay, it's very rare for me to do that. But I had to respond to that insane comment because it just doesn't make any sense. You have these people who have no clue what it's all about, just saying nonsense. Now, President Trump had an epic takedown of a reporter. So a reporter asked him why he was focusing so much on beautifying Washington, D.C. when the price of gas was up. Crazy. Let's hear what Trump has to say.
You know why? Because I want to keep our country beautiful and safe. Beautiful also. This place was a disgusting place. It was Washington Monument, the Lincoln Memorial, and we had a terrible disgust. I don't know, you probably don't see dirt, but I do. And you walk down this pond, if you would have walked down, they'll tell you better than anybody. They had to take 11 or 12 truckloads of garbage out of that lake, out of that water, and it sat there for years like that. And that's not what our country is about. Our country is about beauty, not a filthy capital. It's such a stupid question.
It is.
We're fixing up the reflecting pond to the Lincoln Memorial, the Washington Monument, and you say, why are you fixing it up? Because you can understand dirt maybe better than I can, but I don't allow it. This is one of the worst reporters.
Ouch.
She's with ABC Fake News. She's saying, why would you bother fixing this up? Why would I bother taking 11 or 12 truckloads of filth out of the water in front of the Lincoln Monument? That's what made our country great.
Yeah.
Beauty made our country.
Yeah.
People made our country great.
Yeah.
A question like that is a disgrace to our.
Yes, I agree. So maybe on some of those comments, I'll take a page from President Trump, because for some people, being charitable and nice works. But for some other people, shutting them down and telling them where they can stick their ideas might just be the best way to go. Intergalactic Wrangler says, I'm always glad to hear when they clean up the waterways. We don't want to ruin the habitat. Look, it just makes sense. But for people who hate President Trump, Trump could hang the moon and they would say that he's destroying the world. Okay? Like, it's crazy how addled, how confused the brains of these people are. It's just wild to me. We're at the 1 hour mark, and yesterday we went on for an hour 40 minutes because it was just crazy news upon crazy news. And here we have, this was from yesterday and I couldn't share it. A man arrested for threats to kill Erica Kirk. Let's watch this. It's shocking, but you know what? I can't even repeat something I heard during the protest. I think it was it Portland protests? There was someone on the PA system who was talking about doing something to the hole in Charlie Kirk's neck with their privates. Finish the picture with your imagination. That was what they were saying on a loudspeaker on a PA system in front of the Portland ICE detention center just a few days back. I was watching it and I couldn't believe my ears. Okay, these people are unhinged, wicked, evil people, and they make jokes about using their privates in the bullet hole in Charlie Kirk's neck. So this report comes in that a man has been arrested for threats to kill Erica Kirk. Let's go.
Breaking moments ago, a man reportedly accused of threatening to kill Erica Kirk. He is under arrest in Texas, according to local media. Police reportedly saying he posted about a bombing at a Turning Point USA event where Kirk is scheduled to speak next week. TPUSA says the event will go on. Senior correspondent Alicia Cunha live in Denver. Hi, Alicia.
Hi, Martha. And this threat not only targeted Erica Kirk, but Turning Point USA events across the board. News stations in Texas report Jacob Wensky of San Antonio was arrested earlier today and now faces 2 felony counts for making terrorist threats against Erica Kirk and TPUSA's upcoming women's leadership event in that city. According to local reports, San Antonio police were alerted to Wensky after he allegedly commented on social media, quote, "I know exactly where to bomb." Investigators, according to reporting, say he also wrote in an email, quote, "Death to Erica Kirk and every single speaker there. America will live on without those scum of this earth. Every Christian nationalist shall perish in the bombing that will take place at every single Turning Point rally and event." TPUSA responded to the arrest on X, saying the organization takes all threats seriously and is working with law enforcement, adding, quote, "We are grateful to the San Antonio Police Department and the FBI for their rapid response and arrest of the individual making these threats. We refuse to let threats silence us. We look forward to a successful and inspiring gathering." Erica Kirk, her family, and the organization she now runs have been under near constant hostility by critics ever since Charlie was assassinated in September. Charlie Kirk's accused killer, Tyler Robinson, is scheduled for his preliminary hearing in early July. Erica Kirk has been pushing for maximum transparency with the public in that case. As for the San Antonio suspect, his next court appearance is set for August.
So these people want us to treat these kinds of individuals with kid gloves. What say you guys? Let's know in the chat. There are hard things that I can't say during this live stream because they are layered. They are layered. If you want to hear my thoughts on things like theology and Christianity, Crossroads Faith is where I do stuff like that. I think it's linked in the channel. If you go to the main channel, to the homepage of the channel and look for the linked channels. You'll find the connection to Crossroads Faith. I talk about stuff that's theologically complicated there. And hopefully I'll add some more videos soon. But people talk about forgiveness like it's something that Christians hand out like candy. But there's a misunderstanding about forgiveness, compassion, and so on, because the same person, Apostle Paul, who wrote about how love is kind, gentle, forgiving, and so on in 1 Corinthians 13, and who also he's the same person who wrote in Romans 15, I think. He says that the governor or the government doesn't wield the sword in vain, that the government wields the sword to punish evildoers and to make sure that they are terrified of the law. Like, people think that Christianity is all warm and cuddly and sunshine and rainbows and lay down and drive over my face with your truck and I'll do nothing but forgive you. No, that is insanity. That's stupidity. And when we see people like this, and we conservatives say you need to throw the book at people like this, they should be put away, put in jail, and throw away the keys, because people like this cannot coexist with civilization. Then, people begin to come after you and say, oh, but I thought you were a Christian. Well, I am. It is my job to argue with these people and to try and get them to see the error of their ways. But if they don't change, let the government do what the government does, because that's what God put the government in place to do. Incarcerate and punish evildoers, kick out illegal aliens who broke into the country illegally, and protect law-abiding citizens. That's what the government exists for. Intergalactic Wrangler says, hasn't that lady been through enough? They're going to continue to attack her. And it's unfortunate. She's a public figure. Her husband was wildly popular. She was popular as a beauty pageant winner. She was Miss something years ago. So being a public figure, you'll be under scrutiny and people will use you as a target and so on. Intergalactic Wrangler says you can forgive someone and not want them around. Yes. We forgive him while he's in jail. we forgive him so much that we're paying taxes to feed him while he's in jail. We're paying for his room and board while he is locked away from general society, and keeping our children and our civilization safe from insane, unhinged individuals like him. It just makes sense. Okay, that's just common sense. It is not hateful. It's not spiteful. It is just common sense. Okay, you can love a rattlesnake. You can love all of God's creation, but you don't put a rattlesnake in the crib with your babies. You don't. It's crazy. Okay, Nick Sauter posted an hour ago that the guy who was making threats has been arrested. Okay, I need to put that up. All right, I need to put that up. Let's see. Let me find that story. I'll find that story and we will wrap up with that win. We will wrap up with that win. Let's see. For some, okay. Trying to find that. Yeah, so we'll wrap up. What was that? Trying to find. I see video. I see the what's going on. All right. Are we still okay? Thanks for emailing the link. I think this is the post that you're referring to. Breaking: FBI has just raided and arrested the man who I caught on video threatening the lives of an ICE agent and his family outside ICE Newark. Nicholas Scelfo is facing federal felonies. I need to get a soundboard with applause. This is how it's done. And this is what the FBI is for, not raiding homes of parents who are concerned that their kids are sharing bathrooms with the opposite sex. Okay, boys using girls' bathrooms. This is how it's done. Thank you, FBI. So yes, this is such a win. And do you know what? I want them to throw the book at this guy. Okay? I will have ice cream. I will have ice cream after this completed my set. So, Intergalactic Wrangler, can you let us know what your set was? Can you tell me what your set was, because I missed that. Look, this is glorious. I'm going to leave this on the screen for a bit, okay? This is glorious. I like consequences for evil people, and that this guy is evil. Okay? He is evil. And do you know, I might lose people when I begin to talk like this, and you're like, I thought you were a Christian. I am. Okay? God is love, but he throws people into hell. Okay? There are consequences for choosing an evil path. Gardening says they definitely need to make an example out of him. For every threat, do a charge. Kind of like the 34 felonies of Trump. Look, don't tempt me, Gardening. Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. Look, that sounds so good. Okay? That sounds so good. This is the kind of thing that inspires t-shirts. Okay? Just get these people arrested, throw them behind bars. If after 10 years they are truly reformed, then you can let them out. Okay? You can't have animals like this threatening federal officers who are trying to keep American citizens safe. And then nothing happens. Not after we saw during the Biden years. Okay, Intergalactic Wrangler, I'm waiting for your set. Okay, you're holding me up. I'm waiting for your set. I'm curious. What was your set? What was completed? Okay, maybe I'll have ice cream along with you. Okay, now, guys, this is, okay, let's see. Are you joking? That was a set. I thought you were referring to arrests or consequences. We're talking about two different things, Intergalactic Wrangler. We're not on the same frequency. I was talking about consequences, and you were talking about working out your abs. Ugh, okay. And now you're making me feel bad. All I do in the morning is walk for 1 hour. I walk for an hour, and then I'm sweaty and I'm tired, and you're pulling all this. You're intimidating. You're intimidating me, making me look bad. But it's good. Dumbbells, 30 pounds. 50. Look, so guys, stay fit. If you can't pull weights like Intergalactic Wrangler does, take long walks. Okay, stay healthy. Okay, be healthy for your family, be healthy for your kids, be healthy for yourself. All right, do your best. Gardening says, hey, I just did a set too. 1 bite of brownie cupcakes, 1 bite of icing on it, 1 bite of cupcake brownie, 1 bite of ice. Look, that's a set. I approve. I approve. Even threw in a set of drinking some soda. Yup. Gardening says, I've been working out for most of the show. Yeah, most of us listen while we're doing other stuff. And that's why you have so many people watching and not chatting. But it's fine. Guys, I love you guys. I pray for you guys every day. I'm not saying it to grandstand. I say it because I really do. And I do appreciate the time that you spend on the show. Thank you, Intergalactic Wrangler. Thank you, Gardening, for keeping the chat hot. Eventually, the rest of the guys are going to join in on the fun. Gardening says, I'm starting the healthy stuff June 1st. Hey, it was my son's birthday today. Happy birthday. Look, tell him we said happy birthday from all of us to him. Happy birthday. Amazing, amazing. All right, guys, I wish I could hang out with you all night, but I need to let you guys go. And Intergalactic Wrangler needs a shower. All right. And I need to catch some dinner. We'll be back on Sunday night, same time. I hope you guys will make it. Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell icon if you're new here. Like and share the video. And if you can, leave a comment. If you couldn't do something in the chat, leave a comment. Yesterday's video is like it's really doing well. It's getting some decent views. But thank you to everyone who was there for the live show, because people who attend the live shows tend to help with the drive of the video. If the live audience is active, YouTube tends to push the video a little further after the live stream is over. So I really do appreciate all of you who have spent time watching. Thank you for all that you do. Intergalactic Wrangler, Gardening, thank you. You're the mods. You guys rock. And you guys make this an amazing experience for me and for everyone else all the time. I love the chat. I love hanging out with you guys. And it's an amazing, amazing thing that we're building here. All right. As always, if you have any ideas, or if you just want to reach out to me and send me a message and send ideas or stories. Okay. You saw that Gardening sent me a link to this video. Okay, it was sent to this email address. If you want to connect with us, send an email to crossroadsirl@gmail.com. If you want me to pray with you about anything, send me an email. I talk about praying a lot because it has helped me. I've been through some dark times. And even over the last year, I went through a bunch of things. My mom was sick with dementia. Then she got really sick. Then she died on the 1st of March. Then by the end of June, I lost my job. By September, I lost my ability to work. I lost my qualification to work. So I began to apply for a qualification. I got rejected twice. Not being able to earn money, having a mortgage and a family to feed. It's been rough, but one thing has been holding me strong, and that is the power of prayer. Because look, God is real. And whenever I look at my personal problems and the problems I see facing the world, what keeps me solid is that I can talk to God and He hears me. The Bible says, call unto me and I will answer and show you great and mighty things that you know not of. As you know, we're seeing the insanity play out in front of us. What is it that keeps me steady? It is knowing that there is a God in heaven, and there is a heaven, and there is a hell. I talk to God every day, and I have this solid confidence that no matter what happens, it will be all right in the end. So I want you guys to, connect. If you feel like sending a prayer request, go ahead. I'm open to it. I'm not just here to read the news stories and react and talk with you guys. I'm also here to help you out any way I can, to pray with you or for you. I know someone who can help, and I talk to him every day, and I want to talk to him about your situation as well. So go ahead and use the email address. Send us your thoughts about the show, ideas, stories. I would love to have you be a contributor to this show. Thank you so much for all that you do, and have a great night. I love you guys, and God bless you. See you on Sunday. Bye-bye.